Do you have a difficulty standing up for yourself? Do you feel like people kind of push you over? Hi, my name is Dr. David Pendergrass. I have 3 advanced degrees and specialize in biblical studies and interrelational skills. There's a lot of reasons why people tend to find themselves withdrawing from being able to stand up for their own selves, their own view. And when that happens, since you do have a view, you do have a self, though it might have been smushed down for a long time, particularly if you were exposed to abusive behavior for quite some time in your childhood, or maybe recently even. Prolonged exposure to it can make us feel very shriveled down. But the bottom line is you still have a self, and because of that self inside of you does not have a chance to speak up, which can make us feel angry, sad, depressed. That is to say, our inner wounded child will act up and act out in different ways. If you find yourself in this situation, there are a few things you can do. The very first thing, and maybe not in this sequential order, doesn't matter which order necessarily, but the first thing is I want to encourage you, you do matter. Your opinion matters. You are valuable and lovable by God, period. Period. Whatever belief you might have in your mind or even your heart that says, yeah, I hear you, David, I know that, or yeah, I know. If you find yourself having a difficulty standing up for yourself, deep down, probably so, you have the belief that you're not valuable enough to have a view. So if you're in a meeting with people, even something as simple as friends, and they want to go have lunch or have dinner, they're like, let's go eat this, and you don't like those options, but you won't speak up because you don't want to offend them, don't hurt their feelings. Who am I? My opinion doesn't matter. All that that could be something as safe as that. I want to encourage you by saying your opinion does matter. Why is that? Well, in the Christian worldview, I know it matters because you exist and you're a child of God. It matters. Your opinion might be crazy, but it matters because you're a self. Well, I don't want to go to Hardee's tonight. I want to go eat bark off a tree. Well, okay, that's something right over here. I mean, that's what you want to do, but I want to hear it. Most people don't have that problem. So I'm talking to the normal person who doesn't usually eat bark. The first is that you are loved very much by God and you are valuable. Now, it might take you a lot of counseling to get to the place where you really start believing that, but that's worth believing because it's true. The second thing is you can start some basic, real simple assertive skills. Your posture and your breathing. Something as simple as standing up straight. Now, you don't have to put your chest way out. Sometimes females particularly, feel odd about that. They shouldn't feel odd. It doesn't mean you're doing something trying to pretend you're something you're not. So if you stand up straight, pull the shoulders back, and not some weirdo thing. Some guys do that particularly when they have to be the alpha. And sometimes you'll see that guy's going to walk on like that. I'm talking about that. The best way to do it is to figure out what I'm talking about now is to find yourself against a flat wall. That's it. Take your shoes off, flip-flops if you can, barefoot, go against the wall, and just stand up, and see what straight feels like. That straight. Try to get your shoulders to fill the wall. That's it. It's not some way back weird nonsense. It's just, that's what straight is. I have a difficulty with this because I'm 6'3", and so most people are shorter than I am, so I'm tending to look down all the time, makes my neck hurt. So I force myself. My dad is even worse. He's 6'6". But this, something as simple as pulling it back, it actually has a physiological response in the brain. It makes us feel stronger. We fill up the room, the space more. So we're not doing that so that people are scared of us or intimidated. We're not doing this for them. We're doing it for you. Why? Because you matter. We've already covered that first point. You already matter. So I'm trying to prove to myself that I matter by acting and showing that I matter. So here's the quiz. Do you find yourself doing this more often, standing up straight, or do you find yourself looking down with your shoulders cowered down? If your shoulders are cowered down like this, you're taking a defensive stance. It's a baby stance. You want to be a coddle. It's please don't hurt me stance. You might be thinking that. You might not be thinking, but that is what it is. It's a defensive stance. When you walk down the road, do you tend to look down at the ground the whole time, or do you tend to have your eyes up looking at the world? If you find yourself looking down more often than not, you have a difficulty looking people in their eyes. These are all signs you feel small, you feel vulnerable, you feel in danger. And oftentimes it's because you don't feel valuable. And that's just simply false, and that's sad. These are those things that can help you. So you can practice this anywhere. You can practice out in the middle of the forest, standing up straight, practice in your room, practice in the boardroom, practice at a Target. It doesn't matter. Just stand up straight. Find yourself standing up straight. Just stand up straight and realize, what does this feel like? Well, it feels weird. Okay, right, but it's still good. The brain releases the right chemicals and says, oh, oh, I'm not in danger. If I were in danger, I'd be running or cowering down, please don't hurt me, please don't hurt me. But instead, I'm not doing that. Breathing also helps as well. When we're nervous and we're scared, we tend to take shallow breaths. So one thing that helps us feel more confident too and assertive, and assertive is a good word, I'll go there in a second, but confident and assertive is taking slower breaths. Slower breaths. It's a good deal. And you can practice that and no one even knows it. You don't have to say anything or act all weird. You're just slower breaths. Shoulder back, shoulder back. Just feel more assertive. I'm here in this space, this room, this is good. I'm proving to myself that I'm valuable, that I'm here. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. The third point is when you actually dialogue. I want you to practice assertiveness skills by practicing in very simple, non-threatening environments. Now, your brain will send out a signal if you're not used to this. Yeah, I'm in danger, I'm scared. But you're not in danger. Let's think for a second. Are you literally in danger in a Starbucks line? Or if the waitress or waiter comes to your table? In that moment, I'm assuming they don't have a saw or a gun pointed at your head. They're like, do you want coffee or tea or water? What can I get you to drink? Would you like so-and-so? Do you want Pepsi? No, of course not. Well, that's all we have. Now, you can make an ugly face like that, like my wife does, or you can say, no, thank you, I don't want that. My point is, I want you to practice in a restaurant or an easy situation like coffee where they give you a choice and you say no. Now, you can be gentle and sweet and say no, thank you, but I want you to practice by saying one simple word, no. And then just let there be silence. Now, I say no, thank you because I'm Christian and because I'm the South and we say that. I'm not saying you can't say thank you, but when you're practicing assertive skills, you can practice it by going a little over the edge by saying things like, if you can't do that yet, okay, say no, thank you. But at minimum, if you could, that's great. But if you can say no, or no, I don't prefer that. Would you rather have so-and-so? No, I'd rather have tea. Okay, no. You have lemonade? Just saying the word no. After you say it, I want you to reflect and go, I did it. I spoke up for myself in a kind way. I was kind. I wasn't mean. You can also practice it not only in places like where there's customer service involved and you don't know the person. Practice it with friends. You want to go watch this movie? The other day I had a guy text me and say, hey, you want to hang out tonight? I said, sure. He goes, I'll be in town so-and-so. Do you want to watch? And I think about watching this movie. Well, I want to hang out with him, but I didn't want to see the movie. It looked really corny to me. So I thought, how do I say that? Well, I'm going to say that because I'm not spending the money or the time or the effort to watch a movie. I'm pretty picky with my movies. I'm a nerd that way. And I thought, I don't want to go sit. So I said, I love hanging out with you. That sounds great, except the movie doesn't make me very excited. I think I said, doesn't make excited, or is there something else we could watch or something like that? And he wrote back and said, no problem. So I just had a self. I wasn't mean. I wasn't rude. He could have said, well, then forget you. I'm going to watch the movie without you. And I would have said, okay. And that leads me to the fourth point. The fourth point is this, and this is what's really important. It goes back to the first one, really, about self-worth. But most people who struggle with being assertive are scared of being abandoned or hurt. And that's why counseling, if you really struggle with this, can be so beneficial for you, because we want to get to the place where we don't need the person in front of us. See, when we were children and we needed our parents, we did need from them safety, security, information, food, drink, so forth. But as we matured and grew up, we were supposed to have learned from our parents, most of us didn't, we're supposed to have learned that we're able to handle those things ourselves. When we don't learn that, everybody in front of us becomes a potential mama or daddy. And so if I say no to your movie request, you won't like me and I'll be punished and you'll never be my friend again. So my desire not to watch the movie means our relationship is at stake and I will lose you. Now, that is an absolute false belief for most people. For most people, that's nonsense. But because if you learn that in childhood, you feel like it's very true and real, but it is false. But so that's why I'm having you practice saying things like no and no thank you with strangers and with friends, because most of the time, if they're really a friend, they're not going to cut you off and they're not going to get hit. They're not going to be hurt because you said the word no. You need to practice that with people who are safe so that you build up that muscle, that technique, that tool, that skill set to be able to say, no, thank you. Here's what I'd rather have. I don't want Taco Bell. I'd rather have Burger King. I don't want so-and-so. I'd rather have so-and-so. I'm not a big pizza fan. How about blank? Or I'm not sure what I want. Just having a self. just anything where the person goes, okay, sounds good. That's all. Just being assertive, and assertive means you're just having a self and you're being kind about it. Those are my tips for now. I hope you like this. If you know anybody at all, that struggles with having a self or standing up for themselves, I think this will be beneficial. Will you let them know? Share this video with them. Share me your comments below on how you have a good, safe, gentle, assertive self. God bless you. See you next time.